Hello, and welcome to Rosario to Kiva, written by CK Chroma Dragonzoid and Ten-Faced Paladin. Read by Austin Whitaker. Episode 2, Symphony of the Succubus. Wataru-kun, how are we going to get inside? Moka asked as she stared up at the dragon. It was unbelievable. She'd seen many castles before in her life, but never quite like one like this. And not one that was alive for that matter. Her new friend was so full of surprises. I don't see a door. Let Castle Doran handle it, Wataru told her. The dragon castle opened up its mouth and produced an orb of energy that hovered down to the two teens. It then enveloped them and then carried them upwards. Moka gasped in surprise and hugged Wataru's arm, causing the young man to blush as the orb carried them up inside Castle Doran's mouth and down its throat. Once that was over, the great beast took to the air with its new passengers. Moka-san, you can open your eyes now. Moka heard Wataru's voice say, and she opened her eyes. She then gasped at what she saw. The two of them were now standing in a hallway with torches lining the walls. There were also several doors lining the wall as well. Wataru, are we inside the castle? She asked. Yes, and now I'd like to introduce you to my guardians, said Wataru. Moka prepared herself to face her friend's family. Wonder what they would be like. Heh, smirked a feral-looking man in his mid-20s with unkempt hair and wearing a black jacket, matching pants, and a white shirt with the tie hanging loosely. He revealed his cards. Full house. Pay up. He sat at a coffee table with two others. One was a heavy-built man in his early 30s with a firm expression on his face and wearing a butler's uniform. He wore white gloves. The last one wore a sailor shirt with black shorts that went down past his knees. His hair was tidy and came down to his chin. He appeared to be 13. Jiro, I sometimes have a feeling that you cheat, said the butler as he pushed his chips towards his colleague. You just need to know how to be tricky, Ricky. Jiro stated as he tapped his forehead. Even a poker face like yours isn't enough. As the two older men were talking about the finer points of poker, the youngest suddenly perked up. It was as if he had suddenly realized something he forgot or heard something that the other two had missed. He looked at the door as if anticipating something. Seeing it hadn't arrived yet, he looked to his friends. Nah. He spoke up. Wataru-sama just brought in a girl. Shouldn't we welcome her? Oh, we will, Ramon, Jiro said. He didn't even raise an eyebrow at the fact that his young master had brought a friend home. Taking a whiff of the air, he continued, and they'll enter now. He stood up from his seat, as did Ricky and Ramon, as they both stood in front of the double doors. The doors opened on their own as Wataru came inside the main chamber with Moka. Tadaima, Wataru greeted his three guardians. Okaeri nasai, Wataru-sama. The trio greeted in unison. Ramon skipped forward and stared up at Moka. Nah, Wataru-sama, said Ramon with a smile. Is this your new girlfriend? Moka blushed at the implication, as did Wataru. Ramon-san, she's just a new friend I made today, Wataru answered with some embarrassed expression to his voice. Jiro grunted. Wataru-sama, why did you bring her here? I just wanted to, Wataru said to his guardian. The wild-looking man didn't seem to believe him. She saw you become Kiva, didn't she? Jiro guessed and Wataru nodded. I should have known. Moka tugged at Wataru's sleeve. Oh, sorry. He turned towards his three guardians. Everyone, this is Moka Akashiyo. Jiro quirked an eyebrow at hearing the surname. She's my new friend at Yokai Academy and my classmate. He then introduced the trio to Moka. Moka-san, these are my guardians. Jiro-san, Ricky-san, and Ramon-san. How do you do, Ne-san? Ramon grinned as he bowed. Ricky bowed stoically as Jiro gave a nod. It's nice to meet you all, Moka bowed. I'm surprised that Wataru-kun lives in a dragon of all things. Well, if you want answers, then we'll be happy to give them to you, but not right now, said Jiro. He ordered, Ramon, go prepare an extra place for dinner. Ricky, get dinner ready. We have a guest. Ramon skipped out as Ricky nodded and walked out through the door, leaving Moka and Wataru with Jiro. A portrait hanging on the wall caught Moka's eye and she walked towards it. Wataru was by her side as well. Wataru-kun, are these your parents? The man in the portrait wore a blue jacket, matching pants, and white shirt. Sitting in front of the man was a woman dressed in a beautiful black gown. She had long black hair and a lovely face. The man was also handsome and had long chin-length hair. She could see a violin in the woman's hands. Yes, Wataru said to her, his eyes a little sad. Otoya and Maya Kurenai, he told her. Where are they now? Can I meet them? Moka asked hopefully, and then she saw the expression on his face. Wataru-kun? I need to get cleaned up, he told her hastily. Wait for me here. He quickly exited the chamber without a word. Jiro approached the girl with a frown on his face. I said something wrong, didn't I? Moka asked her friend's guardian. You asked him about his parents. That's a pretty sore subject for him, informed Jiro. They aren't around anymore, are they? Jiro shook his head. Oh, I'm so sorry. Her friend didn't have parents. He was an orphan. Even though she didn't know, she still felt like she was insensitive about the subject. He lost them when he was very young, Jiro told her. Since then, we've been taking care of him. It was a promise we made to his father. What was Wataru-kun's father like? Moka asked. Jiro explained. The man was the most infuriating, annoying, and egotistical person I have ever had the displeasure of meeting. But he was also a loyal friend, and would do anything in his power to do what was right. And what of Wataru-kun's mother? Moka asked. Jiro gave her a cold look. Jiro-san? I would be lying if I said that his mother was a good woman, but she did her best to raise him, Jiro said with a frown. A Fangire had wiped out his entire race, leaving him the last of his kind, and with a hatred that extended to all Fangires. He hated Maya for a long time, but he would never show it around Wataru. The boy still loved his mother even after all this time. Maya's case is a unique one. She's not human, correct? Moka inquired. Wataru-kun told me that he was half human and that his father was human, so I assume... You assume correctly, Jiro nodded. His mother comes from a race of demons known as Fangires. Moka gasped. I take it you've heard of them. I have, back where I lived, said Moka. They are one of the 13 legendary Mazaku, and are an entirely different breed of vampires. You really are well informed, Moka-san, said Jiro. There was a faint hint of praise. Teenagers usually weren't so informed about things these days. So, you must be curious about Kiva. Yes, how did Wataru get that armor? Questions were bubbling all over Moka's mind. She had never seen such a suit of armor before, but she could tell it was very powerful, though. She had seen what was left of Saizo after her other side and Kiva had gotten through with him. Like this castle, he inherited it from his mother, Jiro answered vaguely. Wataru-kun was in the furrow, soaking himself in the tub with Kiva riding inside a small boat shaped like a violin. Oi, Wataru, said Kiva. What's the matter? Is it because that girl asked you about your parents? What can I tell her about them that I barely know myself? Wataru said as he hugged his knees to his chest. All my mother left me was Kiva, and my father left me the... Bloody Rose? Kiva finished. Yes, your parents left you their legacy. Would they approve of Moka-san? Wataru asked. Although Kivat's father served his mother during his life, Kivat himself did know them before they vanished. Do you like her? Said Kivat. I do. I really do. Wataru blushed. And I feel that I... He really couldn't say the word. It was too soon. I think you should get out of the bath now and talk to her. She's probably waiting for you and getting the story from Jiro," said Kiva. "Right." Wataru nodded as he pulled himself out of the hot water. Kiva shook the water off of himself before he took flight. As he watched Wataru leave, he smiled. "Maya-san and Otoyo-sama would approve of such a girl," Kiva grinned. "For different reasons, but they would approve." Meanwhile, Moka was still in the main chamber with Jiro keeping her company. She had spent most of the time admiring the portrait of Otoyo and Maya. Normally, Moka wasn't one to be vain, but she couldn't help but feel a little plain as she admired the beautiful Fangire's face. After a while, her eyes turned to the beautifully crafted instrument inside the glass case. "So this violin is—" Moka began. "His father's legacy, the Bloody Rose," said Jiro as he showed her the violin within the glass case. It was a beautiful instrument and simply amazing. It's what tells him where a Fangire is and to fight it. "So he must fight Fangires to protect humans?" Moka asked. "It's his destiny," said Jiro. "From birth that has been decided, but it's also why he's doomed to be alone." "But that's horrible!" Moka exclaimed. She had instantly turned around and was looking directly into Jiro's eyes. "Wataru-kun is the sweetest, kindest, and most honorable person I've ever known, so why must he have a lonely life?" "Well, I never said he had to be alone. But those who come into contact with Kiva do not live peaceful lives," Jiro classified. "It's still so unfair," Moka stated. She had a very good idea what it was like to be alone. No one deserved that. Jiro saw the look on her face and sighed. Gesturing to Moka, he guided her to the couch. She took a seat across from the wild-looking man. Getting comfortable, Jiro decided to talk. "So, him being half-human doesn't bother you, does it?" "No, it doesn't," she shook her head. "But he saw my true self, so I—" "He won't judge you," Jiro cut her off. "He knows how it feels to be judged unfairly, so he won't treat you like that. He cares for you. Didn't he come to save you from that orc?" Moka nodded. As she was admiring the portrait in the room, Jiro had asked her how they met. Eventually, she explained just how she had seen Wataru change into Kiva. Jiro wasn't surprised at the circumstances. Wataru had always been a kind-hearted person. "Just promise me to take care of him while he's in school," Jiro requested. "He needs friends he can trust, and I think you can be that friend." "Thank you, Jiro-san," said Moka. It felt nice to be accepted by one of the guardians in Wataru's life. "Just Jiro," he told her. "I'm not comfortable with honorifics." Further conversation was halted when Ricky came into the room and said, "Dinner is served. Please, follow me." The dining hall was large and spacious, with a dining table to match. It was at least 20 feet long, with chairs along the side and one on each end. Wataru sat on one end as Moka sat on the other end. In front of them was their dinner, steak with potato wedges, salad, and glasses of tomato juice. "How is your food, Moka-san?" Wataru asked from his end. "What?" Moka asked back. "How is your food?" Wataru repeated a little louder. "Oh, it's fine," Moka said. "What?" "I said it's fine!" Jiro, Ricky, and Ramon watched, amused that the two teenagers tried to talk over their dinner while being 20 feet away from each other. "May I suggest sitting a little closer?" Jiro said to Wataru. Now seated next to each other, blushing with some embarrassment, the two teens could have their conversation. "So, Moka-san, have you lived in a castle?" Wataru asked. "Yes, I did," Moka sighed. "I had all my needs attended to hand and foot by hundreds of servants, and I hated every second of it." "What about family?" he asked. "We weren't really close," Moka confessed. "But your home was much livelier." "Well, it is a living creature, and—" "No, that's not what I mean," Moka interrupted, and then she explained. I meant there's a warmth here that I can't explain. Your guardians truly care about you. Well, they have raised me since I could remember, Wataru said. But they look so young, said Moka. Especially Ramon-san. He doesn't look older than 13. It's a disguise, said Wataru. They've looked the same for years now. So they're monsters too? Moka asked. What kind? That's their secret, so I have no right to blab, said Wataru. Oh, right. Moka accepted. Wataru-kun? Hi, Moka-san, he replied. Do I frighten you? She asked. Wataru laughed lightly. Wataru-kun? Sorry, but why should I be afraid of you? Asked Wataru. I thought you'd be afraid of me. But you saw... I've seen a lot of things, so not much can scare me, he told her. So you knew about Yokai Academy before coming? Jiro-san, Riki-san, and Ramon-san explained a few things to me about the school, said Wataru. So I was prepared. She then decided to ask, so why were you dressed up like you had a cold? It's complicated, said Wataru as he continued eating. Moka decided not to pry until he was ready to tell her. Jiro-san told me your mother was a fangire, said Moka, causing Wataru to freeze. It's all right. I don't hate you for it. I told you so. Yes, I know, but it's still something hard to accept, said Wataru. I'm what is known as a fandiri, half human and half fangire. That's why I have the markings, but I can't transform like them. But you can transform into Kiva, which I still think is impressive, said Moka. Thank you, said Wataru. Taking a moment to eat some more, he swallowed before speaking again. Moka-san, after this, would you like to come to my room? There's something I want to show you. Moka nodded, a bright smile overtaking her face. Wataru's room looked relatively normal, like the room of a high school student. It didn't have posters on the wall, just a bed, a desk, a bookshelf, and a violin. Wataru-kun, do you play? Moka asked. Wataru picked up the violin and bow and said, Hi, I do. Moka asked hopefully, Could you play it for me? Wataru blushed at the request. Why couldn't he refuse this girl? Alright, but I'm not very good. He held up the instrument under his chin and placed the bow against the strings. Nah, spoke Ramon cheerfully. Moka-ne-san's pretty, isn't she? I'm glad Wataru-sama finally brought a girl home. It does seem livelier with a female presence, Riki agreed. Yes, but also troublesome, said Jiro. Wait till she finds out about Kurenai. The trio shuddered. Kurenai was a lot like Otia, in more ways than one. Wataru finished playing with a pluck of the strings. Something he heard was a habit for his father. Moka sat on his bed, awed. It was horrible, wasn't it? Wataru said shyly. It was magnificent, Moka exclaimed. Wataru-kun, you're so talented. You're just exaggerating. Wataru blushed. No, I'm not. You're amazing. I don't understand why you say you're not getting any good. Well, I have stage fright, so I can't really play in front of a lot of people, he told her. He remembered when he'd enter a competition and got booed off the stage. When I get nervous, I play horribly. But you're not nervous now, are you? No, and I don't know why. Moka got off the bed and then hugged him, causing him to blush. Moka-san? You're so kind, honest, brave, and selfless. I can't understand why nobody would want to be your friend. It sounds cruel. Wataru slowly returned the hug. It was a rare thing for him to get hugs like this. The Guardians didn't do it as much anymore since he'd grown out of it. Or did he? Then... Moka-san! Wataru exclaimed as Moka bit his neck. I'm sorry, you just taste so good. The following day, Wataru walked to school again. He'd wanted to leave before, but no more. He had a reason for staying now. As he walked down the path, he noticed a few of the students staring at him and whispering. He wasn't so sure what it was, but he did catch a few words. That's the guy that beat up Saizo? No way! That whip? Saizo left the school too, last I heard. Maybe he couldn't take the blow. He also heard from some of the girls. Hey, that guy's kind of cute. Yeah, he is. He's adorable. Oh, I wish he was my boyfriend. That was different. Usually people were whispering bad or insulting things about him. No one had ever mentioned he was cute before he came to Yokai Academy. Then again, he had always worn his anti-allergy gear, so no one had seen his face. Now people could see his face properly. If it wasn't for Moka, he might have continued hiding his face for the rest of his life. Wataru-kun! He heard from behind. Turning around, he found himself suddenly glomped by his pink-haired friend. Now the whispers turned more hostile, especially from the girls. Morning, Moka-san, Wataru smiled. How are you? I'm fine, Moka smiled. I didn't get to thank you last night for dinner. It was nice. As the two friends made small talk, the other students around them were having reactions to the conversation. The males were crying despair, thinking that Wataru and Moka were talking about a date. The girls were grumbling in jealousy and resentment, thinking a strong and cute guy had been snatched at before he was even on the open market. Off behind a tree, a busty figure frowned in resentment. She watched the pair walk towards the school while beginning plotting in her mind. It was lunch break at the school and Wataru was using it constructively. He had admitted to Moka last night that along with playing violins, he also liked to make them. He had a workshop in another part of Castle Doron set up for it. His father, Otoya, was a master of both playing and crafting violins, and it was something Wataru took pride in when he did it himself. Still, Wataru wasn't a master yet. He could make the violins easily enough from wood, but he could never get the varnish right. His father had a homemade varnish for his work, but never wrote down the recipe. So Wataru experimented with many types of ingredients to try and duplicate it. He had many ideas, but none of them had panned out yet. It didn't get him down, though. He had faith that he'd get it. Of course, the way he would try to find the right ingredients also made him look like a weirdo. In this experiment, Wataru was plucking water plants from a lake that was near the academy. His pants legs were rolled up and the sleeves were rolled up to his elbows. The jacket was resting on the dry ground nearby. In his hand were numerous green plants of different kinds. The young violin maker was happy to have the different kinds. He had better chances of finding the right shade. Oh! A soft voice suddenly moaned from nearby. Wataru's attention was suddenly shooting up and looking around for the source. Looking around, Wataru noticed someone on their hands and knees and moaning in agony. Being the kind-hearted person that he was, he went over for a closer look. From his current vantage point, he could see that she wore a variant of the girl's uniform. She wore a white shirt with a yellow sweater vest, the same skirt as the other girls, and had blue hair tied up in a ponytail with a purple ribbon. He approached her carefully, concern in his eyes, as he said, Miss, are you all right? Her face then turned to look at him and he blushed. Wow, she's cute. He asked again, Miss, are you all right? I don't know, she said to him. I seem to have trouble standing up. Here, let me help. He offered as he carefully pulled her up. Without warning, the girl had wrapped her arms around him and pressing her breasts against his chest. He could feel the soft bosom pressing against him and his face turned red from all the blood rushing to his head. Oh, you're so kind, she purred. Thank you. You're Wataru Kurenai, aren't you? Oh no, yes. Wataru mumbled. He desperately wished that this girl wouldn't rub against him like she was. It was making it hard to think and even speak coherently. "I've heard about you. I didn't know you'd be so nice." The girl smiled and leaned in close. This just served to make Wataru blush harder. "My name's Kurumu Kurono. I hope we can be friends." Wataru mumbled. This girl was getting way too close for comfort. He really wanted to say something, but he really didn't know what. To help clear his mind, he tried to look anywhere but at Kurumu's pretty face. "You know, it's a little rude not to look someone in the eye when they talk to you," Kurumu pouted playfully. Looking back into Kurumu's eyes, he decided to try and tell the girl to back off. As he did so, Kurumu's smile began to turn a little wicked. Concentrating, she let loose one of her most reliable techniques. "Charm," she whispered as she let the pulse of magic cut through her eyes. "Ano," Wataru muttered as his eyes suddenly dulled. Kurumu wanted to giggle in delight. She had him. She had Wataru Kurenai. She gripped him tighter in her hug, just loving the taste of victory. As she gripped him, he wrapped his own arms around her. He didn't try to touch her butt or try to feel her breasts in any way. He was just holding her like he would a dear friend or someone like that. It was odd, since all the other boys she used it on had grabbed onto her like lustful monkeys. That wasn't to say that she didn't like it, it just felt nice. She purred in his embrace. "Gentle too. I think I'll keep you close at all times." "Wataru-kun!" The familiar voice of Moka called through the air. "Eh?" Wataru blinked. His eyes returned to their original sharpness. Letting go of Kurumu, he turned to see who was talking. Sure enough, Moka was coming towards the area. Kurumu frowned angrily, unknown to Wataru. The unsuspecting boy in question smiled as he waved to the pink-haired vampire. "Wataru-kun, what are you doing here?" she asked. She then took notice of Kurumu. "Who is this?" "Oh, this is Kurumu Kurono," Wataru introduced, gesturing to the blue-haired girl. "I was looking for varnish ingredients when she came. She said she didn't feel too well." "Oh, that's not good," Moka gasped. "Do you want help to the infirmary?" No," Kurumu denied. "I'm feeling a little better. I think I can make it on my own." "Ano, are you sure?" asked Wataru. "Yes, I'm okay now." With a cute smile, Kurumu headed off. She made sure there was a seductive sway to her hips as she left. She wanted to make sure Wataru kept his eyes on her. As she left, Moka turned back to her friend. "Are you friends with her?" Moka asked. She wasn't sure why, but she didn't like the idea of Kurumu being close to Wataru like she had been. Wataru shrugged. Later, inside the school hallway, Moka decided to give Wataru her opinion on Kurumu. "Wataru-kun, I don't think it's a good idea for you to be so close to that girl." "Eh? You mean Kurumu-san?" Wataru replied. Moka restrained the urge to flinch. "Already on first-name basis," she told him. "It's just that she gives me a very bad feeling and—" "Moka Akashiya!" Familiar voice announced, and the two friends turned towards the direction to see Kurumu standing on top of the staircase. She then leapt off, and as she descended, her panties were exposed from her skirt being flipped up by the wind. Wataru turned his eyes away and screwed them shut with his face red, but the other boys had different reactions. "White panties! Who is she? Wow, look at her breasts!" Kurumu ran a hand through her hair as she smirked proudly and condescendingly at Moka, who looked a little worried. "Kurumu-san?" she gasped when Kurumu pointed a finger at her. "Moka Akashiya, I challenge you for the title of School Beauty," Kurumu challenged. "Excuse me?" Moka wondered. "Oh, don't play dumb with me," Kurumu growled. "Look around you, all the boys just fall at your feet. This is the kind of thing a succubus would love the most, but you just do it without any effort." "Succubus?" Wataru repeated. Was that what Kurumu was? What did Jiro say about them? He was pretty sure it was important. I came to this school to make the entire male student population into my own army of loyal slaves. But my only obstacle is you vampire, Kurumu snapped. She then turned attention towards Wataru, who jumped in shock when she suddenly latched onto him. Wataru, she cried girlishly. Wataru-kun, keep away from that girl. She's dangerous, Moka exclaimed. Charm, whispered Kurumu as she looked into Wataru's eyes. They became dull. Dangerous? Her? At least she doesn't think of me as her next meal, said Wataru. My next meal? Moka was mortified. Wataru-kun, I don't... You just keep me around for my blood. You don't really care about me. Wataru-kun, you know I... Just stay away from me, Moka. Don't ever come near me. Moka cried and ran off. Kurumu giggled with glee and hugged Wataru. Wataru, however, was screaming at his mind. Moka-san! Come back! Wait! He hadn't meant anything of it. Moka sat in between two buildings and sobbed uncontrollably. Was that really all she thought Wataru was? A quick meal? It couldn't be. Still, it hurt a lot when she heard Wataru accuse her of that. How long are you going to sit there and cry? A tough female voice suddenly spoke out. Eh? Moka gasped. She looked down and saw her Rosario was hovering with the center glowing a blood red. Who are you? I am your other side, the voice answered. I'm using the Rosario as a medium to talk to you. But why? Moka asked, stunned by the shock. Because you're being deceived, her other side snapped. That girl told you she was a succubus. They have the ability to control man through a spell called charm. She did it right in front of you. Really? Moka gasped in shock. Do you really think that Wataru would say something so cruel willingly? Asked Inner Moka. That girl is using her charm to make him her servant, but that isn't the worst of it. What is? Asked Moka fearfully. If someone under the influence of charm kisses the caster, they become the caster's slave for the rest of their lives. Inner Moka explained. I shudder to think what a vindictive girl like her would do with the power of Kiva on her side. Oh no, Moka gasped. Getting up, she began to make a dash for the main school building. Wataru-kun! Kurumu giggled delightfully as she dragged the dazed Wataru through the halls. She did it. She won. She beat Moka Akashiya at snagging men. Granted, she used her charm for the job, but that wasn't about to rain on her parade. All was fair in love and war. Entering the infirmary, Kurumu smiled at the fact that it was empty. She had used her charm earlier on the male doctor to make sure that no one would come in. She had the room specifically prepared for her and Wataru. All she had to do was give him a kiss and he would belong to her. Walking over to the bed, she sat down with her legs crossed. She didn't mind flashing her panties now and then, but she didn't want to look easy. Wataru dumbly locked the door behind them and then sat down in a chair, still under the influence of the charm. Oh, Wataru, Kurumu cooed as she watched her newest conquest. You look sad. Are you okay? I am fine, the charmed Wataru answered dumbly. What did you do? Wataru asked mentally. Why can't I say what I want to say? Oh, I can tell you're sad, Kurumu smiled. And I know just the way to make you feel better. Wataru found himself pulled into Kurumu's embrace with his face planted directly into her chest. He blinked a few times in shock before his eyes returned to their normal luster. Kurumu-san, Wataru began. Yes, Kurumu purred. Wataru began. I think you should get off of me. Kurumu blinked. Did this guy just say... What? I need to apologize to Moka-san. I'm sorry, but she's my friend, Wataru said. Your friend? Is that all? Is that why you won't kiss me? She asked. Please, can you get off of me? Wataru noticed the look of fury in her eyes. Kurumu-san? What is with you? She nearly screamed. I come on to you and you tell me to scram? No, I just said... I had to humiliate myself to get you away from Moka, but now I see that she already had you wrapped around her little finger. Ugh! It's so frustrating! She shouted. Now Wataru was seeing a side of females that Jiro had warned him about. He said, Hell hath no fury like a woman scorned. Wataru gulped. It looked like Jiro's words were coming true. Well then, if I can't have you, neither can she! Suddenly a pair of bat wings spread out from behind Kurumu, shocking Wataru. A forked tail also came out from under her skirt. Her nails also turned into sharp claws. Die! Ah! Wataru screamed as he threw the girl off him. He then tried to find a way to escape and spun around. The window! He then decided it was time to flee, so he jumped out. Come back here! Kurumu shouted as she flew after him. Wataru landed on the ground without a scratch on him. Despite the infirmary being on the second floor, Wataru's Fangire heritage permitted him to take a fair bit of damage. Still, he wasn't in the mood to test how much damage he could take outside his armor. Why is this happening? Shouted Wataru as he ran for dear life through the woods. Oi, Wataru! Shouted Kiva as he flew alongside his partner. Henshin and fight her! I can't! Why not? She's a girl! She's trying to kill you! She's still a girl! Kiva's sweat dropped. Wataru still had a problem fighting girls. He had that problem when he first fought a female Fangire. He had to wait for her to initiate attack before he started fighting back. A quick way to get killed. But Wataru held firm to his beliefs. I'm coming for you, Wataru! Called Kurumu. Wataru could see her above him, wings spread like a bird of prey and her claws like talons. A succubus? Exclaimed Kiva. First a vampire, now a succubus? I didn't plan for this! Shouted Wataru. Well, you need a plan to get out of it. Kiva decided to save his partner's life and dove down. Gotcha! Kurumu did a nosedive and tackled into Wataru. At the same time, Wataru's body had turned silver, and then when Kurumu finally had him under her, ready to strike him, she was now looking at a large pair of yellow eyes instead of Wataru's fearful ones. What the... Pow! Kurumu was sent flying backwards by a punch to the chest. She stopped herself with her wings and looked towards her prey, who just transformed. Clutching her chest in pain, she questioned, What are you? She then got angry. Well, it doesn't matter. I'm going to have to open you up like a kintanning thing, kill you! With a scream of fury, she flew straight at Kiva, who ducked under her. What? He grabbed her by the tail and yanked, making her stall in the air. Taking the moment, he began to spin her in the air. She screamed, Make it stop! He then tossed her into a tree, causing it to groan in protest from the impact. Kurumu groaned in pain as she looked up towards Kiva. She was now afraid. She had never faced anyone like this before. I'm warning you! Stay back! Kiva didn't seem to hear her and took out his wake-up whistle. He put it in Kiva's mouth, and then the bat flew off his perch, blowing into the whistle with a shout of, Wake up! Kurumu could sense the demonic aura rising. It was like, no, it couldn't be. Vampire? The sky turned pitch black as a crescent moon appeared. She watched as Kiva kicked his right leg up, the chain shattering to allow the red wings to spread. He then leapt high into the air and then came down at her with a flying kick. She was too frozen in fear to move. Crash! Kurumu was frozen on the spot as Kiva stood behind her. She dared to look and saw Kiva standing in a crater shaped like a bat. She knew it hadn't been there before, but from the depth of the crater she knew as if the kick would have hit her, she would have been killed. Wataru? Kiva flew off the perch and Kiva's body turned silver before Wataru turned around, looking normal as the chains retracted into his body. At the same time, the sky turned back to normal. He turned to look at Kurumu and then walked up to her. He apologized. "I'm sorry." She blinked. He was sorry? She had just been trying to kill him. "You're sorry. I don't like hitting girls. I really don't," he told her. "Especially pretty ones like you." She blushed. "I just had to show you that I wasn't going to let you kill me." "You missed on purpose," she realized. Still a little shocked, she blurted out, "Wataru, what are you? A vampire?" "Not exactly, but I think I should take you back to the infirmary. You may have a bruise from where I hit you." Kurumu's wings folded back and her tails retracted. She had never met someone so kind. She'd met guys who pretended to be nice, but never someone genuinely kind. Wataru could have easily killed her, but he chose not to. "This is going to be the end of me," she said sadly. "What do you mean?" he asked curiously. "When people find out a succubus like me failed to seduce one man, I'm going to end up a laughingstock." "How would anyone find out? I mean, we're the only ones who know." "You're not going to tell anyone?" Kurumu blinked, baffled. Would Wataru really do that for her? She had tried to kill him, so he was rather entitled to humiliate her like that. No. And she believed him. "Can you carry me?" she asked him. "Can't you fly?" he asked. "My wings hurt when I hit the tree," she said. "Sorry," he apologized again. He hated the thought of hurting her, but when he changed into Kiva, his battle instincts took over. He felt horrible for causing Kurumu pain. "Hey, I tried to kill you, so we're even." "She does look cute when she's not homicidal," Wataru realized. "I'll give you a piggyback ride." Wrapping her arms around Wataru's neck, the boy hefted her onto his back with his hands holding her thighs. Despite the situation, Kurumu couldn't help but smile. It was rather nice to be held by someone who genuinely cared about her. The calluses on his hands felt nice on her skin, too. Resting her head on his shoulders, she decided to enjoy the trip back to the infirmary. The following day. "Moka-san!" Wataru called out to his friend. "Wataru-kun!" Moka gasped. "You're all right!" She had been afraid for him. When she went back to the infirmary, both he and Kurumu had gone. She was especially afraid after her Rosario had told her what Kurumu had been attempting. The reassurances from her other side that Wataru was fine weren't very reassuring. "Did she hurt you?" "Kurumu-san? No, she didn't," he said. Wataru wasn't going to tell Moka what had happened. He didn't want to worry her. "I'm so relieved, Wataru-kun," she said shyly, blushing. "Moka-san," he smiled back. Of course, the tender moment just had to be ruined. "Wataru!" Kurumu exclaimed cheerfully as she glomped Wataru from behind, rubbing her breasts against his back. "Kurumu-san!" Wataru let out flushed. She let go of him and smiled sweetly. "I made you cookies," said Kurumu, holding a basket. "Want one?" She then saw Moka. "Oh, hello to you too." "What do you want?" Moka demanded. She hadn't forgotten how Kurumu had attempted to steal her friend away for herself. "Oh, I came to bring Wataru some cookies," Kurumu said. "Just to say thanks for yesterday." "Really, it was nothing," said Wataru. He tried to play it down, but Kurumu obviously thought otherwise. "Wataru, do you want to know why I came to the academy?" Kurumu said. "It's because I was looking for my destined one." "Destined one?" both Moka and Wataru echoed. "Well, my race is dying out, so I need to look for my destined one to marry. My mate of fate. No other man will suffice for us." Wataru put two and two together after hearing that. What he was seeing was something that was beginning to scare him. Kurumu-san? And I've decided it's you, honey. She hugged his arm against his chest. So, when do you want to get hitched? No. Wataru blushed. Let go of him, shouted Moka, grabbing the other arm. No, you let go, shouted Kurumu. Now it had become a tug-of-war with Wataru as the rope. Kiva floated above, snickering. Ah, Wataru, you sure have become a man. He then noticed a basket of cookies on the ground. Cookies. Don't mind if I do. Itadakimasu. Wataru-kun? Wataru? Somebody help me! End of episode 2. Dear God, do you guys see why I need female voice acting in this? And if you want to make fun in the comments below, I don't blame you. I laughed my ass off while recording this. But I might have to change up the scheduling of when I release these because, again, I do this as a hobby on the side because I actually do have a job. And my work schedule just slightly increased back to what it normally was because I thought it was going to be stuck to what it was before and what gave me a little bit more time to work on this. So unfortunately, that's not going to be the case. So I think I'm going to have to put this back to 1 every 3 weeks. So, I know that sucks, but I just want to be able to make sure that I get time to properly record and edit to what I can. But anyways, guys, if you like this video, then go ahead and give a comment down below. If you like it, subscribe. And if you'd rather listen to the podcast version it is, then go over to SoundCloud because it's probably up pretty soon. And thank you for listening. And tune in 3 weeks. For episode 3, Concerto for a Witch.